How would you like a cool new base?
That would be awesome. Working out of a tavern has really been expensive. We just can't seem to lay off the ale.
Ale good, digit bad.
Excellent. A commoner walks in and hands you a stack of papers. He says that you have inherited a keep, and these are your incurred debts.
Wow, that is decidedly less cool.
Maybe, but only time will tell.
What in the abyss is a bastion? The DMG tells us that it is a location that belongs to a player. It offers a character temporary refuge from the dangers of adventuring. They have a lot of abilities and utilities that players can use throughout a campaign to craft items or conduct research, and could be a great resource of plot hooks for the Dungeon Master to use. Bastions are best suited for a campaign where the players stay in one general location most of the time. If players get a bastion but then traipse off and never return, then it isn't very useful. So, assuming the players are going to have a bastion, how do they acquire it? When a player reaches level 5, the Dungeon Master gives them a bastion. It might be from an inheritance. It could be an existing structure that players liberate from an evil organization, like an orphanage, for example. This can really happen any way the Dungeon Master wants to write it into the story. A bastion can look like whatever the players want it to look like. A wizard might want a tower, a fighter might want a stronghold, and the bard might want a brothel. A tavern. So, now we have given our players a plot hook generator, bastion. What do they do with them? Well, they can use certain rooms to create in-game effects. This happens during what is called a bastion turn. By default, a bastion turn happens every 7 days of game time. This could happen a lot if the party only adventures once a month in game, meaning that they would have 4 bastion turns between each adventure, or less frequently if they are speedrunning the campaign. Also, if the players are playing in a more gritty, realistic type of campaign, where a short rest is 8 hours and a long rest is a week, then each long rest ends up being a bastion turn. In all of these examples, adjustments will probably need to be made by the Dungeon Master. Regardless of how long a turn is, the players will be able to give their bastions orders. We'll get into this a little bit more when we look at each of the bastion rooms later in the video. But the orders that can be given are craft, empower, harvest, recruit, research, trade, and maintain. If the players are not home when taking a bastion turn, then they default to maintain.
Cool. So now I have a bastion, and I have a basic idea of what I can do, but how do I know what kinds of facilities I have?
Well, let's build a bastion and see how it works. Players get to start with 2 basic facilities that they choose from the following list: bedroom, dining hall, parlor, courtyard, kitchen, and storage. These basic facilities have no real game mechanics and are really just there for role-playing purposes for the player. One of the rooms is cramped, 4 squares, and one is roomy, 16 squares. We will create a bedroom so we have somewhere to sleep. This is going to be our cramped room since all we do here is sleep. We can also add a parlor, or as we say in America, a living room. This one will be the bigger room where we spend time. If we want more rooms, we can spend money and build them over time. I want to suggest things like a kitchen, so we don't starve, and maybe some walls to protect us, as the Bastion's standard walls are essentially cardboard, much like my voice. You can also enlarge basic facilities for a price and some time. Here's the chart for that.
All right, well, that's the basic facilities, but what about all the cool stuff?
Well, Cletus, those are special facilities. Each Bastion starts with 2 special facilities of the player's choice, if they qualify for them. At level 9, you get 2 more, then 1 more at level 13, and again at level 7, giving you a final total of 6 facilities. Each special facility comes with hirelings to work and maintain that room. Each turn, the special facility also creates enough resources to pay for its hirelings, and these hirelings are loyal to the Bastion owner. This might be a great opportunity for players to flesh out their hirelings. They can create names and personalities and backstories for the people that work and live in their Bastion. This gives them a chance to really shape what the world is like. So at 5th level, we get 2 special rooms. Let's take a look at what is available here. This might take a minute as we look at each room, so I will include timestamps in the comments if you want to skip around and check out certain ones. Or you can sit back and enjoy it the way Mechanus intended, alphabetically by Bastion level. First is the Arcane Study. This room has an additional requirement. The player must have the ability to use an arcane focus or tool as a spell crafting focus. It is roomy, meaning it consists of 16 squares. You can order your hireling to craft one of the following items: an arcane focus costing no gold and taking 7 days to craft, a blank book taking 7 days and costing 10 gold, or a magic item. This has a variable amount of time and money based on the crafting rules. It also requires that the player is at least level 9 and can only craft a common or uncommon item from the Arcana table. Next, we have the Armory. The Armory is also roomy and can accept the trade order. When you issue the trade order to this facility, you commission the facility's hireling to stock the Armory with armor, shields, weapons, and ammunition. This equipment costs you 100 gold pieces, plus an extra 100 gold pieces for each Bastion defender in your Bastion. If your Bastion has a Smithy, the total cost is halved. While your Armory is stocked, the Bastion defenders are harder to kill. When an event causes you to roll a die to determine if your Bastion loses one or more of its defenders, roll 1d8 in place of each d6 you would normally roll. We will discuss this a little later in the video. When the event is over, the equipment in your Armory is expended, regardless of how many Bastion defenders you have or how many you lost, leaving the Armory depleted until you issue another trade order to the facility and pay the cost to restock it. Next is the Barracks. It is a roomy 16 squares and can accept the recruit order. The Bastion can have more than one barracks, each of which is furnished to serve as sleeping quarters for up to 12 Bastion defenders. And every time you issue the recruit order to this facility, up to 4 Bastion defenders are recruited to your Bastion and assigned quarters in this barrack. The recruitment costs no money, and you can't issue the recruit order to this facility if it is fully occupied. Keep track of the Bastion defenders housed in each of your barracks. If you lose Bastion defenders, deduct them from your roster. Assign names and personalities to your Bastion defenders as you see fit. The barracks can be enlarged to a vast room that can house 25 defenders. This will cost you 2,000 gold. The garden is roomy and can harvest stuff depending on the type of garden you build. You can have more than one garden, and they can all be different or the same. When you issue the harvest order to this facility, you commission the facility's hirelings to collect items from the garden, as noted in the garden types table. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. You can produce perfume, candles, or bouquets in a decorative garden, rations in a food garden, healer's kits or a potion of healing in the herb garden, or basic poison or antitoxin in the poison garden. All of these items can be sold or used within the game. A garden can be enlarged to a vast garden for 2,000 gold and house 2 of the same kind or different kinds of gardens. The library is a roomy facility that can do the research order. When given the research order, you commission the facility's hirelings to research a topic. The topic can be a legend, a known event or location, a person of significance, a type of creature, or a famous object. The work takes 7 days, and when the research concludes, the hireling obtains up to 3 accurate pieces of information about the topic that were previously unknown to you and shares the knowledge with you the next time they speak with you. The DM determines what information you learn. The sanctuary is also roomy and will accept the craft order. It has a requirement of the ability to use a holy symbol or druidic focus as a spellcasting focus. After spending a long rest in your Bastion, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast Healing Word once without expending a spell slot. You can't gain this charm again while you still have it. When you issue the craft order to this facility, you commission the facility's hireling to craft a druidic focus or a holy symbol. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. The item remains in your Bastion until you claim it. The Smithy comes with 2 hirelings, where mostly you only get 1. It is roomy, like most of the rest of these, and can be ordered to craft. You can give it one of the following craft orders. Smith's tools. The facility's hirelings craft anything that can be made with Smith's tools. Or you can have them craft a magic item from the armament list if you are at least level 9 or higher. The facility has the tool required to craft the item, and the hirelings have proficiency with that tool, as well as proficiency in the Arcana skill. See the crafting magic items section in Chapter 7 for the time and money that must be spent to craft the item. If the item allows its user to cast any spells from it, you must craft the item yourself, though the facility's hirelings can assist, and you must have all those spells prepared every day you spend crafting the item. The storehouse is roomy with 1 hireling. When you issue the trade order to this facility, the hireling spends the next 7 days procuring non-magical items that have a total value of 500 gold pieces and stores them in the storehouse. Or the hireling uses those 7 days to sell goods from the storehouse. You bear the total cost of any purchase, and the maximum value of the items purchased increases to 2,000 gold pieces when you reach level 9 and 5,000 gold pieces when you reach level 13. When you sell goods from your storehouse, the buyer pays you 10% more than the standard price. This profit increases to 20% when you reach level 9, 50% when you reach level 13, and 100% when you reach level 17. And we round out the level 5 rooms with the workshop. It can do the craft order and comes with 3 hirelings. It is equipped with 6 different kinds of artisan tools from this list. You can craft anything that can be made with these tools, and at level 9, you can also craft magic items from the implements table according to the magic item crafting rules. Additionally, this facility can grant you heroic inspiration when you spend a short rest in this facility. So, which 2 should we add? I think we're going to start with an herb garden so we can kick out some healing potions. I have never found it to be much of a problem having too many healing potions. Next, let's go with the Smithy. This lets us create a lot of magical items that are useful to a variety of different classes. Even if we create all the stuff we want, we can still help outfit the rest of the party and maybe even sell or trade whatever is left over. At this point, I might suggest liking and subscribing to this channel. You can also save this video so that when you get to higher levels, you can come back and take a look at some of the higher leveled facilities to see exactly how they work and what might be best for your character. After a few levels, we gain the ability to add some more facilities. These are a bit more powerful and give us more benefits. So let's once again take a look at what is available before we choose new facilities for our Bastion. The Gaminghall is a vast facility. It is much larger than previous rooms and has 4 hirelings. You can issue the trade order to this facility, and the facility's hirelings turn the Gaminghall into a gambling den for 7 days. At the end of the 7th day, roll D100 and consult the following table to determine your portion of the house's winnings. I guess it's true, the house always wins. You can make anywhere from 10 gold at the least to as much as 600 gold. Most likely, though, you will earn in the 30 to 70 gold range. In the greenhouse, you can harvest rare plants and fungi. In the greenhouse is a plant with 3 magical fruits. Any creature that eats one of these fruits gains the benefit of a lesser restoration spell. Fruits that aren't eaten within 24 hours of being picked lose their magic. The plant replaces all picked fruits daily at dawn. When harvesting, you must choose one of the 2 following options. Healing herbs. You commission the facility's hirelings to create a potion of greater healing made from healing herbs. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. Or poison, you commission the facility's hirelings to extract 1 application of poison from a rare plant or fungi. Choose the type of poison from the following options: Assassin's Blood, Malice, Pale Tincture, or Truth Serum. Once harvested, the poison can be contained in a vial. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. A laboratory can receive the craft order with the following options: Alchemist Supplies. The facility's hirelings craft anything that can be made with alchemist supplies. Or poison, you commission the facility's hirelings to craft a vial containing 1 application of a poison. The poison must be from the following list: burnt othar fumes, essence of ether, or torpor. This work takes 7 days, and you must pay half of the poison's cost. Sacristy requires the ability to use a holy symbol or a druidic focus, and you can issue the craft order. When you do, it can craft one of the following options: holy water, You commission the facility's hirelings to craft a flask of holy water. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. However, you can spend gold during the creation process to increase the potency of the holy water. For every 100 gold pieces you spend, up to a maximum of 500, the damage dealt by the holy water increases by 1d8. Craft magic item. You commission the facility's hirelings to craft a common or uncommon magic item chosen by you from the relics table. The facility has the tools required to craft the item, and the hireling has proficiency with that tool as well as proficiency in the Arcana skill. If the item allows its user to cast any spells from it, you must craft the item yourself, and you must have all those spells prepared every day you spend crafting the item. Additionally, having a Sacristy allows you to regain one expended spell slot of level 5 or lower after spending an entire short rest in your Bastion. You can't gain this benefit again until you finish a long rest. The Scriptorium is a facility that can accept the craft order to do one of the following. Craft book replica. You commission the facility's hirelings to make a copy of a non-magical book. Doing so requires a blank book. I guess now we know why you could make a blank book earlier. And the work takes 7 days. Craft spell scroll. You commission the facility's hirelings to scribe a spell scroll containing one cleric or wizard spell of level 3 or lower. The facility has the necessary calligrapher's supplies, and the hireling meets all the prerequisites needed to scribe the scroll. And craft paperwork. You commission the facility's hirelings to create up to 50 copies of a broadsheet, a pamphlet, or another loose leaf paper product. The work takes 7 days and costs you 1 gold piece per copy. At no additional cost in time or money, the facility's hirelings can distribute the paperwork to one or more locations within 50 miles of your Bastion. Next is the stable. The stable can give you the trade order to buy or sell one or more mounts at normal cost, keeping the ones you buy in your stable. The work takes 7 days, and the DM decides what types of animals are available for purchase, horses, ponies, and mules being the most common. The mounts and other animals table in the player's handbook gives standard prices for various mounts. You bear the total cost of any purchase. When you sell a mount from your stable, the buyer pays you 20% more than the standard price. This profit increases to 50% when you reach level 13 and 100% when you reach level 17. Next is the Teleportation Circle. This facility can receive the recruit order. Each time you issue the recruit order to this facility, its hireling extends an invitation to a friendly NPC spellcaster. Roll any die. If the number is odd, the invitee declines the invitation. Wah wah. You gain no benefit from having issued the order. But if the number rolled is even, the invitee accepts the invitation and arrives in your Bastion via your Teleportation Circle. While you are in your Bastion, you can ask the spellcaster to cast one wizard spell of level 4 or lower. If you are level 17, the spell's maximum level increases to 8. The spellcaster is assumed to have the spell prepared. If the spell has one or more material components that cost money, you must pay for them before the spell can be cast. It doesn't state it specifically, but I would assume the players could also use the Teleportation Circle for their own purposes. Next is the theater. This is a vast facility that takes up a lot of room. For this, you can give it the Empower Order. When you issue the Empower Order to this facility, its hirelings begin work on a theatrical production or concert. Rehearsals and other preparations take 14 days, followed by at least 7 days of performances. Performances can continue indefinitely until the new production gets underway. You or another character can contribute to the production in the following ways. A character can compose music or write a script for a concert or production that hasn't started rehearsals yet. This effort takes 14 days. A character who remains in the Bastion for the entirety of the production can serve as the concert's conductor or the production's director. A character who remains in the Bastion for the entirety of the rehearsal period can be a star performer in one or more of the performances. One of the theater's hirelings can serve as an understudy for additional performances. At the end of the rehearsal period, each character who contributed to the concert or production can make a DC 15 Charisma performance check. If more of these checks succeed than fail, you and the other characters who contributed to the concert or production each gain a theater die, a D6. The die changes to a D8 when you reach level 13, a D10 when you reach level 17. At any point after the rehearsal ends, a character can expend their theater die to roll it and add the number rolled to one D20 test they make immediately after rolling the D20. If a character hasn't expended their theater die before gaining another, the first theater die is lost. We also have a training area. This is another vast facility with 4 hirelings. When a training area becomes part of your Bastion, choose one trainer from the Expert Trainers table. On each Bastion turn, you can replace that trainer with another one from the table. When you issue the Empower order to this facility, the facility's hirelings conduct training exercises for the next 7 days. Any character who trains here for at least 8 hours on each of those days gains a benefit at the end of the training period. The benefit depends on which trainer is present in the facility, as noted in the Expert Trainers table. The benefit lasts for 7 days. And as you can see, these benefits are things like weapon, tool, or skill proficiencies, or extra unarmed damage, or even reducing incoming unarmed damage. And the last special facility for level 9 is the Trophy Room. The Trophy Room allows you to do the research order. You choose one of the following options. Lore. You commission the facility's hireling to research a topic of your choice. The topic can be a legend, any kind of creature, or a famous object. The topic need not be directly related to the items on display in the room, as the trophies provide clues to research a wide variety of other subjects. The work takes 7 days. When the research concludes, the hireling obtains up to 3 accurate pieces of information about the topic that were previously unknown to you and shares this knowledge with you the next time you speak with them. The Dungeon Master determines what information is learned. Trinket Trophy. You commission the facility's hireling to search for a trinket that might be of use to you. The work takes 7 days. When the research concludes, roll any die. If the number rolled is odd, the hireling finds nothing useful. If the number rolled is even, the hireling finds a magic item. Roll on the Implements Common table. So which ones do I want to add when we reach level 9? Leaning heavily towards a Scriptorium. This would allow me to create spell scrolls up to level 3. The nice thing about spell scrolls is that they don't cost spell slots. This helps conserve spell slots, but it also means you can cast a spell from a scroll and still cast another spell using a spell slot on the same turn. If you have bonus action spells you want to cast, or you can quicken a spell from your sorcerer class, then you can cast more than one leveled spell in a round. Next, I think I would take a teleportation circle. This gives me a lot of ability to travel further into the world. You also can have a spellcaster come to your bastion and cast spells for you. This might be something useful like Dispel Magic, Remove Curse, or even Revivify. Okay, stick with me a little bit longer. The next time we get a new facility is at level 13, and there are fewer options than at previous levels. The first one we see is the Archive. The Archive can receive the research order. When you issue the research order to this facility, you commission the facility's hirelings to search the archive for helpful lore. The work takes 7 days. The hireling gains knowledge as if they had cast the legend lore spell, then shares this knowledge with you the next time you speak with them. It also contains one valuable reference book that gives the player a benefit while it is in the archive. Each of these books gives you advantage on certain checks to recall knowledge based on these books. A meditation chamber is one of the smaller rooms. If you use the Empower option, your Bastion's hirelings can use the meditation chamber to gain a measure of inner peace. The next time you roll for a Bastion event, you can roll twice and choose either result. We will talk about Bastion events at the end of the video. Also, you can meditate in this facility over a period of 7 days. If you leave the Bastion during this time, you gain no benefit. Otherwise, at the end of the 7th day, you gain advantage on 2 kinds of saving throws for the next 7 days, determined randomly by rolling on the table below. Reroll if you get duplicate results. Having advantage on saving throws is really handy. Next, we get the Menagerie. This is a vast facility that allows the recruit order. When you issue the recruit order to this facility, you commission the facility's hirelings to add a creature from the Menagerie Creatures table to your Menagerie. The recruitment takes 7 days and costs you an amount listed on the table. The hirelings look after the creatures. Creatures in your Menagerie count as Bastion Defenders. Deduct any you lose from your Bastion Defenders roster. You can choose not to count one or more of these creatures as Bastion Defenders. in which case they can't be called on to defend the Bastion. Instead, they act in accordance with their nature and use their stat blocks in the monster manual. There's also an Observatory that can give the Empower Order. When you issue the Empower Order to this facility, you enable yourself or the facility's hirelings to explore the eldritch mysteries of the stars for 7 consecutive nights. At the end of this time, roll a die. If the number rolled is even, nothing is gained. If the number rolled is odd, an unknown power bestows one of the following charms on you or another creature of your choice that is on the same plane of existence as you. Charm of Dark Vision, Charm of Heroism, or Charm of Vitality. You can also use your Observatory to peer into the far corners of wild space and the astral plane. After spending a long rest in your Observatory, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast Contact Other Plane without expending a spell slot. You can't gain this charm again while you still have it. This feels like a great way to have one of your hirelings stare into the depths of the abyss and make contact with some sort of creature to become a warlock in your next campaign. In the pub, you can do research. I know I've done a lot of research in pubs, but maybe not exactly what they're doing here. When you issue the research order to this facility, you commission the pub's bartender to gather information from spies who are aware of all important events happening within 10 miles of your bastion over the next 7 days. During that time, the spies can divulge the location of any creature that is familiar to you, provided that the creature is within 50 miles of your bastion and not hidden by magic or confined to a location that the DM deems is beyond the spy network's ability to locate. If the spies learn the target's location, they also learn where the creature has been for the previous 7 days. The pub also has one magical beverage on tap of your choice. You can see the options on the screen now and the benefits that they give you. Your DM can also create one of their own with its own special benefits. Finally, at level 13, you can build a Reliquary. The Reliquary can take the Harvest Order. When you issue the Harvest Order to this facility, you commission its hirelings to produce a specially prepared talisman for you. The talisman usually takes the form of an amulet, a rune-carved box, or a statue, but it can be any tiny non-magical object that has religious significance. The work takes 7 days and costs no money. You can use the talisman in place of one spell's material component, provided the component has a cost of 1,000 gold pieces or less. If the spell normally consumes the component, the talisman isn't consumed. After the talisman has been used in this way, it can't be used again until you return to your Reliquary and use another Harvest Order to prepare it. Also, after spending a long rest in your bastion, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days, or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast Greater Restoration once without expending a spell slot or using material components. You can't gain this charm again while you still have it. Being able to replace up to 1,000 gold pieces worth of material components is pretty big, and there will always be opportunities to use Greater Restoration. This is yet another location that gives you an ability to cast spells without using spell slots. And as we discussed before, it's the only way that you can cast more than one leveled spell in a turn. At level 13, we only get one room, and I think I would pick the Meditation Chamber. As a caster, you might want to go with the Reliquary, as it may save you a ton of money, but the Meditation Chamber is useful to all characters. Even though it is random which saves you get advantage on, any save could be very useful to have advantage on, and it might even be the difference in the encounter. Finally, at level 17, we get one more room to choose from the following 4. These are pretty big and powerful facilities, as they should be at this level. First is the Demiplane. This is a very large facility. However, it only takes up enough room in your bastion as a single door. Only you and your hirelings can enter it. When you issue the Empower Order to this facility, magical runes appear on the Demiplane's wall and last for 7 days. Until the runes disappear, you gain temporary hit points equal to 5 times your level after spending an entire long rest in the Demiplane. That is a ton of temporary hit points at this stage in a campaign. Also, while in the Demiplane, you can take a magic action to create a non-magical object of your choice from nothing, causing it to appear in an unoccupied space in the Demiplane. The object can be no bigger than 5 feet in any dimension, can't have a value over 5 gold pieces, and must be made of wood, stone, clay, porcelain, glass, paper, non-precious crystal, or non-precious metal. You must finish a long rest before you can take this action again. The Guildhall is a facility that can host meetings for a guild that you are the leader of. You pick from one of the following types of guilds: an adventurer's guild, a baker's guild, brewer's guild, mason's guild, shipbuilder's guild, or a thieves guild. Each of these guilds can do different types of things. The adventurer's guild can locate creatures that can be slain or captured and put into your trophy room or menagerie. The bakers can cater a party for cash. The brewers brew ale for cash. The masons can build fortifications for your bastion. The shipbuilders can build ships. Shocking development there. And the thieves guild can steal an object from somewhere nearby. Of course, I suspect that the dungeon master may have other uses for these rooms as well. The Sanctum can take an order to empower. When you issue the empower order to this facility, you inspire its hirelings to perform daily rites that benefit you or another creature you name. The beneficiary doesn't need to be in the bastion when the rite is performed to gain their benefits. Each time the beneficiary finishes a long rest, they gain temporary hit points equal to your level. This effect lasts for 7 days. Also, after spending a long rest in your bastion, you gain a magical charm that lasts for 7 days or until you use it. The charm allows you to cast heal once without expending a spell slot. Again, more free spells. You can't gain this charm again while you still have it. It also has a special ability called Sanctum Recall. While the Sanctum exists, you always have the Word of Recall spell prepared. When you cast Word of Recall, you can make your Sanctum the destination of the spell instead of another place you have previously designated. In addition, one creature of your choice that arrives in the Sanctum via the spell gains the benefit of a heal spell. In the War Room, you can use the Recruit order. There are 2 options. Lieutenant, gain 1 new lieutenant. You can have up to 10 lieutenants at any time. Assign names and personalities to them as you see fit. Or soldiers. You commission 1 or more of your lieutenants to assemble a small army. Each lieutenant can muster 100 guards in 7 days to fight for your cause. Reduce that number to 20 if you want them to be mounted on riding horses. It costs you 1 gold per day to feed each guard and each horse. Wherever the army goes, it must be led by you or at least 1 of your lieutenants, or else it disbands immediately. The army also disbands if it goes 1 day without being fed. Otherwise, the army remains until it is destroyed or you command it to disband. You can't issue this recruit order again until your current army disbands or is destroyed. With these last 4 rooms, there are more restrictive requirements other than just level. You might not be able to just select one of these unless you qualify for multiple facilities through multiclassing or some other feature. To create a Demiplane, you have to be able to use an arcane focus. For the Guildhall, you have to have expertise in a skill. In a Sanctum, you have to be able to use a holy symbol or druidic focus. And in the War Room, where there is no fighting, you have to have a fighting style or unarmored defense. Since we aren't using a specific character for this video, we aren't really looking too hard at the requirements. And with that in mind, I'm going to add the Sanctum. Gaining all those temp hit points every day for a week is really nice. Adding the charm to heal and being able to recall back to it with a heal tied in are just bonuses. So that is our Bastion. I think it's pretty cool, and I can't wait to use them in my campaigns. But now that we have a Bastion, what would it look like if we took a turn? Let's start with a turn in which we are in our Bastion. In each of our facilities, we will give them an order. We will start with our first room, the garden, where we will give our hireling the harvest order. This is going to produce a potion of healing for us. Next, we will give the smithy the craft order, and they will produce an unspelled weapon with the spell Thunderous Smite or maybe Fairy Fire. Our Scriptorium will be given the craft order, where they will create a spell scroll of Fly or maybe Spirit Guardians. In the meditation chamber, I will give the Empower order. This will help me out when I roll a Bastion event, but I will also fortify myself, giving me advantage on saving throws for Wisdom and Charisma. I totally rolled and I didn't just pick them, and that's what came up. Those are pretty good ones to have advantage on for the next week. At our teleportation circle, we will recruit a wizard and have him cast divination to get some information that we might need for the upcoming adventure. Finally, in our sanctum, we will do the fortifying rite to give us a bunch of temp hit points at the start of every day. We also get a charm to allow us to heal once for free, and we can teleport back home and can heal one player. That is some pretty good benefits for sitting on our backside at our home for a week. But what if we aren't at home to give any orders to our hirelings? Then they will do the maintain order. This means we aren't there telling them to do something specific, so they just wander around tending to their daily tasks, polishing tables, sweeping floors, and sneaking into closets to play 7 minutes on Mount Olympus. When this happens, the Dungeon Master rolls a D100 and reads the results to the party. Half the time, all is well. Other times, things might happen, like the Bastion being attacked. We get a friendly visitor, we might make a magical discovery, or if we're really lucky, we might get a treasure. We rolled a 62, so we get an extraordinary opportunity. Some event is taking place, and we choose to spend 500 gold to host it. We roll again, getting a 6, so everything is well. 500 gold well spent. Now we know what a Bastion looks like, how to build them, and how to use them as players. What can a Dungeon Master do with this information? Well, a lot of that will depend on the players as well. If the players flesh out a lot of their NPCs, then the Dungeon Master might use them to create plot hooks for the players. A lot of events can lead to plot hooks. Several of the facilities themselves have features a Dungeon Master can use to entice players into a story. The more attached the players are to their bastions and hirelings, the more likely they will be to fight to protect them. Because of this, the Dungeon Master should encourage the players to build their bastions and flesh them out. If you're still here, then you are amazing. This was a long video, and I appreciate you sticking around. If you're this dedicated to my videos, then maybe you should consider joining Brew membership. And you can also check out the store we just launched in the comments below. There isn't much out there right now, but we're going to be adding stuff as frequently as we can. And until the next video, keep on hacking the dungeon.